We are live. Welcome to the MLB Strategy Show. It is Thursday, September 28th. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down a 5-game main slate on a night with Thursday night football. So, people aren't going to care about this one as much, but we're still here breaking down all 5 games. I've got everything locked and loaded. Sim is just about done on the back end. We are going to be in good shape to break this bad boy down. Hit that like button if you're here and you haven't done it yet. Bug Boy with the super chat. A little cut of the profits since I've been rostering and betting the hottest hitter in baseball in the last 7 games. I'll be wrong all day if it pays this well. Keep grinding, boys. Thank you, Bug Boy. Your takes are terrible, but congratulations on winning. Woo! Let's have some fun, guys. Let's have some fun. We'll be able to zip through this one pretty quick. We're obviously not going to be here for the full hour. NFL Strategy Show coming up next, but we have a ton of content up today. I guess I'll hit on that shortly. I'm going to refresh my lineups first just to get everything that we have in. So we got an ownership update just before I went live. So I'm going to refresh my lineups. Done. We're going to reduce the amount of Rockies that I'm getting, which is a staggering amount. There we go. Bring that back down. I'll refresh this table. Oh, yeah, we are good to go. So everything I have is ready on the baseball end. Wow, pitching is interesting. Greg and I touched on the Dame Drew deal yesterday during Live Before Lock. I don't have too much to add here. I'm fascinated to see what Drew Holiday gets traded for and what that package ends up looking like. It's going to be big, I expect. I think you're going to get basically every single contender bidding, and I think it's going to make the deal. Like, don't be surprised if Drew Holiday's return looks better than the Dame Lillard return. I think it's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be a lot. I'm fascinated by it. I don't know where he's going to go. I've been racking my brain. I know the places that I want him to go. I think I want him to go to Golden State. I think that going to Golden State makes the best overall team. I think if he goes to Golden State, they're the favorites. I think Golden State, if they get Drew, assuming they get Drew for Chris Paul and Flotsam, picks and stuff, I think that would make Golden State the best team in the league. Can the Celtics? Everybody can, basically. But yes, the Celtics can get Drew, although it gets a little weird. Because it would basically have to be Brogdon plus one of like Horford or Robert Williams. See, Steven, you're not thinking about this one correctly. Think about it the exact same way of the Dame trade. People were talking Celtics offering 2 number 1s and Brogdon, but why would they want Brogdon? Run the exact same trade back at the beginning. Why would the Blazers want Drew Holiday? Because you can flip Drew Holiday. Same situation here. If the Blazers take on Malcolm Brogdon is just playing for, the Cleveland Cavaliers in 3 months or something like that. It's just another guy that they could flip down the road. You can flip Brogdon for a low-level first or like a couple seconds and a young player or something later on. So I'm fascinated by it. Suns winning either way. Yeah, I definitely don't agree with you on that one, Jeremy, but that's not surprising either. Clearly in the mix, but I wouldn't have that kind of confidence. Not at all. I'm very interested in what their defense looks like in the playoffs when they don't have a center. I think that's going to be very, very tricky because they're not going to have a center in the playoffs unless they can figure out some other way to have a center. But it ain't Yusuf Nurkic. I can promise you that. It's going to be interesting, though. I think about a lineup of Steph, Drew, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and it's just like, holy shit. I think that's the best starting 5 in basketball. I don't know. Terrifying. Terrifying. I think that's the best starting five in basketball. I would love to see Denver have a shot to do it. I don't really see that working out all that well. It would have to be for MPJ, which I just don't think they do. Should be interesting to the Blazers a little bit, but a backcourt of Murray Drew would be pretty tasty. Like, you can get him anywhere. You can get him anywhere. There are so many fits. Miami, obviously. Philly. I love him on Orlando. It's just never happening. He would fit on the Knicks. Cleveland, Boston. He would fit on Chicago. There's no reason to go there. Memphis, Denver, Dallas, Minnesota, the Pels, the Warriors, the Thunder would be an amazing fit. Lakers, Clippers. That's why Drew Holiday is going to get traded for a massive package. Everybody will want him. He's a massive upgrade to every single team, and the fit works no matter what. There's not a negative fit for Drew Holiday anywhere. It's going to be fun, guys. I'm really pumped for this this NBA season. Philly next to Maxey makes the most sense. That's going to require a lot of assets and somehow getting Harden somewhere. I think Philly's a hard one. Philly's a tough one because Philly doesn't have what the Blazers want. Yeah, I mean, look, the Heat would be great. Lillard was definitely a better fit for the Heat than I think Drew would be. But yeah, I mean, the Heat would be exceptional if they got him. Who would the Mavs have to give up? Would have to be like Tim Hardaway and Rashawn Holmes and like anything else that's not nailed down. Probably like Josh Green or something, even though you wouldn't want to do that. I don't think Dallas has a realistic shot. Like, they don't have a great package. It's not going to be Chicago. The only way that Drew Holiday is going to Chicago is if he is going to retire after his player option. He has no chance to win if he goes to Chicago. I would be the only way that he does that is if he is not long for the NBA. Vic, I don't think the Lakers can do it. They don't have the salary yet. They would have to wait until like January to be able to make that deal. But all right, we've hit 15. You know, we've done a decent chunk of NBA. I wish that I could keep talking about it, but I think we probably need to dive in to some baseball. So if you guys are ready, I am ready. 55 people in the door. 5 games today. Blue Jays and Yankees are up first. 4.8 run implied total for the Jays. 3.7 for the Yanks. Chris Bassett and Luke Weaver. This is an interesting one. Kind of happening a lot. Kind of happening the way that it happened for me yesterday. Fuck Jose Barrios, by the way. So I guess we should talk about the slate. Logan Gilbert, Jesus Luzardo, Jordan Montgomery, Chris Bassett, David Peterson, all 25 to 40% owned. The ownership on Marcus Stroman, 1%, not going to go deep enough. AJ Smith-Shawver, 4%, not going to go deep enough. Luke Weaver, Chris Flexen, both not good pitchers. Ryan Yarbrough is in cores, is getting a little bit of love, but, you know, that's also a thing. So Chris Bassett is 35% owned for the Blue Jays. I think that he should be 35% owned, and he is, and I have 39%. I have nothing to add to Chris Bassett. Happy to get there on a 5-game slate. He is properly owned right now. Next, the next guy that we need to talk about, Luke Weaver. Don't roster him, 2% owned. We're just not doing that. If we want to dig in any further on Bassett, 209 x-ISO to lefties. There's just not enough lefty bats for the Yankees for that to be threatening. 127 x-ISO to righties. Bassett's in a really nice spot here against the Yanks. There's some strikeouts to be had for sure, and there's not really anything threatening from a power potential. Oh, God, I love coffee. But what I want to look at, because Bassett at 8,600 I'm in. I have 39%. I don't want it to seem like I'm not getting to Bassett. He looks really good. He's my third most exposed pitcher. But I want to get to the Yankees too. Not that this looks great. Again, I just got done mentioning the righty power doesn't play. Well, maybe it'll play for Judge like it did yesterday. We have the Yankees 7th in top stack. I have them 6th. It's either 5.6% or 5.5%. So I'm in lockstep with the site. Yankees 8% owned, 6 out of the 10 teams. I've got 15%. I'm 2xing the field on the Yanks. I have 30 Yankee stacks. And this is just a play against the ownership of Chris Bassett. If it goes bad for Bassett, it's going to go well for the Yankees, and then I'm feeling pretty good. So I like getting to the Yankees because of the ownership to Chris Bassett. That is my appeal. I'm getting to Austin Wells, who I think stands out, Estevan Florial. Those two bats should be your priority options for New York, and then getting to a $6,200 Aaron Judge. But remember, these guys aren't expensive. It's Judge at $6,200. And then the next most expensive guy in their current projected lineup is $4,100 Gleyber Torres. They only have 2 guys above 4K. Very easy to get to the Yanks. Now, the Blue Jays on the opposite side, 4th in top stack, 2nd in top value. They're 17% owned. That's number 2 behind the Dodgers. We have them way lower in stack score, as do I. I think the Blue Jays are pretty significantly over-owned. I have 8 stacks and 7%, so I am half the field on the Jays. This is a team pulling way too much ownership for today. Love the matchup against Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver is not very good, but the Blue Jays are pulling more ownership than they should for what this slate looks like, for what this park is. 4.8 run implied total is nice. I think you're going to be able to find better versions of the Blue Jays if you need to. I certainly like some of these bats. Like, the top of their order should be getting some love. As I work my way down, like, do I want a 19% owned Dalton Varsho today? No, I think I can find a more likely outcome at minimal ownership compared to Varsho being in 20% of lineups. So yeah, I'm very light on the Jays. I think they're over-owned based on where we have them right now. As I rank this game for me, it's Chris Bassett, Blue Jays bats. Sorry, Chris Bassett, Yankees bats, Blue Jays bats, Luke Weaver. Again, Chris Bassett, Yankees bats, Blue Jays bats, Luke Weaver. As a whole, Chris Bassett and the Blue Jays bats are what stand out the most. You're probably paying close attention to those guys. I just don't think I'm going to get there. Oh. Yeah, Vic, it's going to be a great NBA year, man. I'm so pumped. I've been working on my projections model and updating that over the past couple days. Today won't be one of those days, but I'll probably dig into that a lot over this next week or two. I seriously cannot wait to start breaking it all down. That trade yesterday was such a shot of life to me. Like, I loved tweeting. I loved interactions. Like, it's still trickling in. That really got my blood flowing. Big time. Big time. It's been like, it's fun to talk about the NBA. It's just more fun to talk about the NBA than everything else. So let's go to game number 2. Before we do that, though, I want to touch on our schedule for the rest of today. I don't want to miss it first. Here we go. So we had the NFL Strategy Show earlier. Laffy, Matt Kajeski breaking down Lions, Packers for tonight. I'm here for the Strategy Show now. After this, 11 a.m. I got this wrong yesterday. I thought the matchup show was yesterday. Matchup show today. Laffy, Eric Lindquist, 11 a.m. breaking down every single game in detail. This is the show you want. If you're watching anything to prep for this Sunday, our NFL matchup show is the best one in the market. 1:30 NFL Rainmaker show with Greg. 4:30 Owner's Box show with Greg. And then Greg's still not done. Back for MLB Live Before Lock with me at 6 o'clock. We're not done yet, though. Laffy, Neil, NFL Strategy Show. Sorry, NFL Live Before Lock Showdown Edition, 7:15, breaking down the Packers and Lions all the way up until 8:15. That is what we've got, guys. start the process earlier so we can weed out some of the late risers. I'm more likely to start the process at 7 than 6 at this point, guys. We'll see where we end up there. All right. Let's go to game 2. Mets Marlins. 3.6 run implied total for the Mets. 4.1 for the Marlins. David Peterson going for New York. Jesus Luzardo going for the Marlins. 42% ownership coming into David Peterson. He is 7K and very clearly the best value pitcher for today. No disagreements there at all. On the opposite side, Luzardo is 9K. The second most expensive pitcher on today's slate, 37% owned. I think that's what he should be. I have him at 38% implied ownership. I do have 55% of Jesus Luzardo, though. This is my favorite pitching option for today. Strikeout stuff is massive. Park is perfect. I overrate the Mets, and I'm still getting to Luzardo. That is what makes it very interesting to me. But don't sleep on Peterson. This is the pitching matchup for sure. Because of Peterson's price tag, I am under the field on Peterson. I'm finding myself getting further up the salary tier, but make no mistake about it, his value is exceptional. Because of the fact that both of these pitchers look so good, and because of the fact that we're in a pitcher's park, I don't have a single Mets stack. They're 4% owned today. I have 0.6%. On a 5-game slate, if you want to tell me that going up against Jesus Luzardo is the way that you think you're going to get to the money, I'm not going to say anything negative there. 117 x ISO to lefties, 194 to righties. So, Ronnie Mauricio doesn't really have the pop. Pete Alonso, scary bat today against Luzardo. Lindor, Vientos, Francisco Alvarez. There's a lot of pop in this Mets lineup from the right side that Luzardo has problems with. But there's also a lot of strikeout potential here because Luzardo has a 32% K rate to lefties and a 27% K rate to righties. Boom bust for Luzardo, but I think he looks the best of anybody because of the price tag. Also, don't sleep on Peterson. I do have some of the Marlins bats against David Peterson. I don't think that is all that crazy. He is pulling more ownership because of his price. 166 x ISO to lefties, 176 to righties. So a lot of pop in this Marlins lineup for sure. Soler, Bell, Berger, De La Cruz, 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty scary. Gonna see 8 righties. That's not ideal for Peterson. So 8% owned are the Marlins, 6th in top stack, 5th in value. I have 8%. I have 13 stacks. I think that's perfect. I want some of the Marlins, but not a lot. I wouldn't mind having more of the Mets, but I don't really think I'm going to end up getting there because they just don't grade out well overall. So as I rank this game, it is Luzardo, Peterson, Marlins, and Mets. Really do, though, like the pitching in this one. So I assume this is the game that scores like cores. Oh, boy. I don't know why we're talking about hockey in chat, but I might fall asleep trying to read that stuff. Boring. Fun slate so far. Let's get to game number 3. We're going to my Atlanta Braves taking on the Chicago Cubs. AJ Smith-Shawver on the hill for the Braves. Marcus Stroman on the hill for the Cubs. Now let's talk this one through. I don't think either one of these pitchers are playable today. If we look at AJ Smith-Shawver, game log. So hasn't been in the majors since the end of July. Last appearance in AAA was on the 22nd. That is 6 days ago. He went 2 innings, 9 batters. Start before that, 3 innings, 9 batters. Before that, September 3rd, 2/3 of an inning, 6 batters. I gave him 3 1/3. He's 7,400. Do not play AJ Smith-Shawver. He is, I don't believe, going even close to deep enough in this game. Marcus Stroman, on the other hand. Let's talk about Marcus Stroman for today. Marcus Stroman, as we look at his game log, came back up on the 15th through 2 innings, 8 batters, Pitched again the next day, threw 1 inning, 4 batters, took 7 days off, threw again on the 23rd, 3 innings, 15 batters. That was 64 pitches. Maybe Stroman can go 4 innings. Maybe at most he can go 5 innings. He is not a strikeout guy. And he faces the Braves. 7,900 for Stroman. Do not play either pitcher in this game. Cannot do it. Full stop. Don't do it. No pitching. We'll talk hitting. We'll start with the Braves, a team with massive top stack odds all the time. However, they're not in cores today. So second in top stack, 8th in ownership, 5.9% owned. We have them a little higher in stack score. I'm still light here because they're expensive. They're hard to get to, especially on a day where the 4 of the 5 best pitchers are all 8,600 or more. I find it very difficult to roster Atlanta, even though they look good on paper, because their salaries are massive. To go to 1 through 4, like you're pivoting off of a Dodgers team that looks better than this at the same salary tier. Now, I have 9% of Acuna. I have 8% of Austin Riley. I don't mind getting to Atlanta. I actually think Atlanta is under-owned. I just don't think they're easy to roster. So I only have 2 stacks. I have 4% total of Atlanta. It's even more interesting on the Cubs side. 5th in top stack, 8th in value. They are 3rd today in ownership at 12%. We have their stack score at 8%. Massively over-owned on the Cubs. I have 6 stacks, 6.5%. I'm under on the Cubs. I need this game to stay aggressively quiet. I don't have a ton of the Braves. I don't have a ton of the Cubs. It's mostly a fade, honestly. No pitcher on either side. What do we do here? Because this is a tricky game. If you can find the salary to go to the Braves with Peterson plus somebody else, I'm not going to talk you out of that. The lineup's loaded. But man, it is really hard to do that when you don't have a lot of value elsewhere. And then for the Cubs, I just think they're over-owned. Now, maybe that's because I'm getting to all of the Rockies today, but there's a reason for that. As I look at this game, I don't want really anything of it. Mike Tauchman in the leadoff spot will look good no matter what if he's 3,400. Similar for a $2,400 Mastroboni, but those are the only guys that I have in double digits. I need this game to stay sleeping tonight, at least on the bat side. Good stuff. We're almost up to 100 people. I got ice in my mouth. Let's go. Let's talk Owner's Box, presenting sponsor of this show. I'm going to go ahead and share that Owner's Box screen like we do every other day. Owner's Box is the sponsor. You're going to get a lot if you want to sign up at Owner's Box, guys. A lot. So, depends on which side of the coin you like more. You like money more or tools more? We'll start on the money side. If you click the link in the description of this video and sign up at Owner's Box, they are going to match your deposit up to $500. So if you put in $500, they're going to give you $500. Now it comes in Owner's Bucks. You accumulate, you get 4.5% of it unlocked for every dollar that you're spending in contest entries. I have basically a little over half of my money already back into my account through the first 3 weeks of the season. But 500 free is 500 free. Now, that is not the only thing you're going to get. You are going to get access to our NFL Sims Max package. This is our brand new package for the NFL season with our Sims tool that will cover you for showdowns and cover you for the main slate on Sunday, not just for Owner's Box, but for DraftKings and FanDuel as well. Owner's Box is going to be running the best contest in the industry for the 4th straight week. $175K guaranteed, $35K to first, 13,875 entries. And for the past 3 weeks, they have overlaid. Past 2 weeks, they've gotten 10,000 entries. If that happens again, you're going to see massive overlay in this contest, and it will be the best contest that you get into. I will be maxing this contest because it's the best contest I can get into. Take advantage of these opportunities. Free money on the deposit, tools for a week to help you here. You can generate 10,000 lineups and optimize them. Find ROI for stacks, players, lineups, all of that stuff using the Sims tool. You get all of this stuff. Worst case scenario, cancel at any time, costs you nothing on our end. Minimum deposit on Owner's Box is $10 for you. The worst case scenario, if you hate every bit of this, you're out $10. You cannot beat this deal. Sign up at Owner's Box. All right, let's get into the final two games of the night. We're going to Coors. I'm very sick and tired of talking about Coors. This Dodgers team in Colorado is just not fun. Colorado Rockies, 4.9 run implied total. Dodgers, 6.7. It's Chris Flexen on the hill for Colorado. Ryan Yarbrough going for the Dodgers. Do not play Chris Flexen. You can play Yarbrough. He's 11% owned at 6,300. I think that's fine. I think he should be around 10. But like not a priority. The Dodgers are the number one stack value owned team at 22% owned. We think they're underowned. I think they're underowned. I'm still getting to the Dodgers. I have 26%, 35 stacks for the Dodgers. I'm at least neutral on basically everybody except for bets. Play Colorado. It's a 5-game slate, and they're like, I had it at 38. We have it at 36. Call it 37% to be the top scoring stack. They're a little over a third of the time. They're the best team you can get to today. It's just that easy. I don't have anything else to add. It's the Dodgers in Coors. But fourth in top stack, third in top value, fourth in ownership. I have Colorado a little bit ahead of that here against Yarbrough. I think the Colorado Rockies are the team that I'm going to get to. Fourth in ownership at 10%. I have currently too much, but 29% ownership to Colorado, 55 stacks to Colorado. I'm getting to 50% of Tovar. If he's in the leadoff spot at 4,100 as a shortstop, I want that a lot. Similar story for Brendan Rodgers, a $3,600 second baseman. Like that is just very cost effective for what we're going to get here. So the team that I'm getting to the most today, the Colorado Rockies in Coors against the Dodgers and Ryan Yarbrough. This is the game that I'm attacking the most. I have 56% exposure to Coors today. We're projecting 31. So that is a giant stand on this game. Clayton, I did. I had way more. Okay. Yeah, and like you're clearly going here for cash options. You know, bets if you can do it. Muncy, Smith, Outman, they all look really good as cash options. But I think Tovar and Rodgers are going to get slept on a little bit given those price tags for premium positions. We got to remember, 5-game slate. There's only so many shortstops and second basemen that you can roster. Like Miguel Rojas is the shortstop for the Dodgers. He's not projected nearly as good as Tovar if Tovar's hitting leadoff. But Miguel Rojas is 16% owned. So is Tovar. These guys shouldn't even be close. $700 difference in salary, but Tovar should be like 1.5 times the ownership at least. If Miguel Rojas is 10, then Tovar should be 16. But if Rojas is 16, Tovar should be 20 something. That's just not the right balance. Ultimately, the easy thing to say is this: Dodgers bats, Rockies bats, Yarbrough Flexen. It doesn't get any easier than that. Oh, guys, we only have one game left. 89 of you are in the house. Let us close out this slate. Mariners and Rangers, 3.8 run implied total for Seattle, 3.7 for the Rangers. Logan Gilbert, Jordan Montgomery, two pitchers that you just have to play today. 33% ownership coming to Gilbert. That's exactly where I think it should be. I have 30%. He is the most expensive pitcher at 9,700. It is a bit of a scary spot against Texas, but it's a 5-game slate. There's only so many pitchers that you could roster. You need to total up 200% in some way. Please go to Logan Gilbert for sure. I'm going to more Jordan Montgomery, though. 8,800, 27% owned. I think that's right. Jordan Montgomery is my second most owned guy. I think he's just in a better spot against the Mariners, although he's definitely not as good of a pitcher to me as Logan Gilbert. Ultimately, though, 75%. So, 30-something, a third of my ownership for pitching is going to Logan Gilbert and Jordan Montgomery. I want both guys. This just looks like a really good spot. A really good spot for pitching. Because you don't have any choice. Like, we have 5 games, but we only have 6 pitchers. You can't play Stroman, Schaber. You don't want to play Weaver or Flexen. So we only have 6 guys to split basically 200%. It's very easy to want to go to Gilbert and Montgomery because we just don't have the choices. All right. As we talk bats in this game, I basically don't have them. This is the number 10 team in our stack score. 8th in top stack, 10th in value. That's the Rangers. 8th in stack score for the Mariners, 9th in top stack. Now, neither one of these teams are getting ownership. The Rangers are dead last at 3.5%. The Mariners are 7th at 8%. Going to Teoscar and Sam Haggerty and Jose Caballero. I don't know why they're getting that much other than just the ownership of Montgomery, but I don't have either side of this one. 2.5% of the Mariners, less than 1% of the Rangers. The only thing that I want in this game is pitching. I'm finding it very difficult to get to these guys as stacks. I think the Mariners in particular are pretty significantly overowned. The Rangers aren't, but at the same time, if I'm not getting to Atlanta, I'm going to have a much harder time getting to Texas, because at least Atlanta has a better pitching matchup. The Rangers don't have that. Wild MLB slate. If there wasn't NFL tonight, this would be a really difficult slate. But for now, I look at it, I'm ranking it Luzardo, Montgomery, Bassett as my pitching options. Rockies, Dodgers, and Yankees as my stacks. Whew. Woof. Gonna be a fun slate, guys. Anybody have any questions for today's slate? Have to have at least 20 to 25 Carter minimum. I have him properly owned at 2% for today. So 20 to 25 might be a hair over owned. Definitely the worst play on the Rangers. Not close either. I'd rather have Gary Carter. Sean V, if you're asking me to look at the early slate, no. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. That water is a mirage, bug boy. He's the worst play. He is. Look, he's $3,900 outfielder. He's not even better than Tavares ahead of him because he's $600 cheaper. What, are you going to take him before Adolis Garcia? Nope. Nope. No thank you, guys. No thank you. All right, guys, that's it. MLB Strategy Show in the books tomorrow. MLB Strategy Show, final version from me for the regular season. I don't know what I'll be back for the playoffs. I assume it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There aren't any games on Monday or Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I expect to be here breaking down the games that we have for baseball. After that, I don't know what we're going to be doing. So we'll find out in the future. Guys, good luck, everybody. Thank you for being here. Make sure you're watching every other show that we've got today, including the NFL Strategy Show Matchups Edition, which is coming up in about 20 minutes. I'll see you guys in the morning tomorrow. Good luck. Peace.